Okay, so something quite surprising happened to me a couple of days ago, and I wanted to share it for those who are going along this path, especially those who are interested in growing their LinkedIn or professional accounts. So both for those who know me and those who watch some of my videos, my name is Federich. I'm an international lawyer with more than 15 years working experience. I'm based in Brussels, Belgium, where I work for the European Commission. And as you know, working as a lawyer is quite a formal job, and especially in the environment in which I work, which is the European Commission and the European institutions, this is quite institutional and bureaucratic. And at times it can also be extremely formal, and appearance can play quite a role, right? But at the same time, personally, I don't refrain from using social media, and I have all possible social media, as you can tell also by this YouTube channel. For instance, I may use Instagram for sharing personal things, for sharing personal occurrences, travels or stuff like that. I use LinkedIn in a bit of a more professional way, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, even when using my social media, I'm a strong believer of the fact that in life you should be yourself as much as possible, even in your social media. So if I want to share something which relates to my private life, from time to time I don't refrain from doing it also on a social media like LinkedIn, which is not very fit for that type of use. And as I said, I do it regardless my lawyer's job. For instance, I have a rock band, I sing and play in a rock band, I have this YouTube channel, or I practice many sports. I share what I go through in my life across the various social media I have. But let's get to what happened. So it happened that a couple of weeks ago we were told that there would have been a big event at the Commission, a big celebration, a milestone relating to the end of the European Commission's mandate, and we were told that many big European Commission personalities and leaders would have joined this event. So we had to prepare, and we had to prepare in a very good way, right? So at one point during the interactions, I was told that someone was setting up a band to play a gig in this event, to play a concert. And at that point I said to myself, oh wow, I have a band, I actually sing and play in a band. Why don't I join them, right? So I volunteered, I contacted some of these band members, we buddied up together, so to say, and we started rehearsing. We were rehearsing for a couple of weeks, but not too much. We rehearsed like 3 or 4 times. And then it came the day of the event, and we performed. We weren't 100% ready, but we performed and we delivered. And in a way, we also nailed it. And I think people loved it precisely because of the environment in which we played. We played amongst colleagues, in front of many European Commission's leaders, in front of other lawyers. So it felt, in a way, unusual and weird, but at the same time cool. So in the end, people loved it very much, and they were cheering up for us. And to be frank, it felt great. It felt great for me and also for my other peers, for my other band members, and it felt great. So you may be asking, what happened next? So it happened that in the following days, we were digesting it, and I was digesting this. I was digesting this great feeling of, expressing yourself despite, the unusual environment, despite the formal environment, despite the fact that it was my working environment, the working environment in which I work as a lawyer. It took me some time to come to the conclusion that it is also very much important to share these occurrences and to share how you felt. And at one point I decided to write a LinkedIn post. And so despite some resistance, I prepared this LinkedIn post, which essentially consisted of 2 elements. The first element was a video extract which was sent by some other colleagues about the event where we were performing with my other colleagues in the context of this gig. And we were singing and playing, and people were cheering up for us. So there was a 10 seconds video extract. And the second element was a piece of written text where essentially I explained 2 main ideas. So the first idea is that it's amazing to do something in what you consider to be an unconventional environment, in this case a working environment, in front of your colleagues and together with your colleagues. And the second idea that I express is that the categories that we give to ourselves should not be the limit for us. So I'm a lawyer, we were all lawyers, but despite all that we had a great fun, and we teamed up even better. We found ourselves in a bit of an unconventional environment, and in the end this improved our working relationship, it improved our time, and probably it will improve our bond. In fact, after the gig, a colleague of mine mentioned to me, "Oh, you look so serious in your lawyer's work at the Commission." And I understand the perspective of this colleague of mine, but at the same time I would say, I am serious, we all are serious when we work, but at the same time, we can also develop some other personality traits in our lives, some other sides of us that we should nurture and grow during the course of our life, which in the end will turn out to be useful in our professional lives. But I should also say that behind this LinkedIn post which I made, there was also a little bit of a LinkedIn strategy that I was putting into practice for a couple of weeks already. See, in fact, I had been posting quite regularly on LinkedIn for a couple of weeks, And of course, I mainly post about lawyer stuff and legal stuff because I'm a lawyer and my network consists mainly of other lawyers or people related to the legal world. So I had been mostly posting legal updates or comments to legal developments, and to be frank, I was having quite little traction in my LinkedIn network. So the moment I posted that video extract about my gig in my working environment, together with those two ideas which I previously referred to, I was not expecting the reaction I had. So that post, which literally took me less than a minute to do, became by far my most successful LinkedIn post ever. So just to give you some numbers, we're now 4 days after the post and the post had more than 10,000 impressions. The video was watched 3,500 times. 15 hours of watch time for a video which took less than 10 seconds. 160 likes, more than 50,000 LinkedIn members reached. I had more than 100 followers gained on LinkedIn. Several people that reached out to me both in my working environment and via private message on LinkedIn to get to know me or just to offer me a coffee. And also a huge boost up to all my previous LinkedIn posts and impressions. So what did I learn by that? I learned that sometimes on social media we invest a lot of time, we make a lot of efforts to appear as skilled as possible, as valuable as possible, to find the right words, but at the same time we post something which took us literally a minute, and this meshes it all. And so when it comes to LinkedIn, which is a professional network, which is a professional social media, I have two main takeaways. And the first takeaway is that you should have a regular posting strategy, no matter what. It only took me a couple of weeks of regular posting to have one post that boosted up my profile by a lot. And the second takeaway, which to me is the most important, is that you always have to relate to people. You have to show your human factor. You have to show your authenticity. You have to find a connection with the people you're trying to reach. And sometimes you have to do it regardless of your inner feelings. You have to do it regardless of what you think, even when you don't expect a positive reaction. The human factor always wins. So the question for the way forward now can be, will I continue along this path? And the response is maybe, or maybe not. Will I commit to posting more regularly on social media, and especially I'm investing a lot of time on YouTube and LinkedIn and other social media, but it has to come naturally, I think. It has to be authentic. You have to come out as a natural individual. Because I very much believe that whatever we do in life has to come naturally, effortlessly. And I think we should all try to give a little taste of ourselves in the truest possible manner. But regardless, if you enjoyed this comment, I would please ask you to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It would very much help me in my journey. Peace.